Hello, I'm here in my pillow fort, aka my bed. It's been a long time coming, but I feel as though I have permission to share messages that I get from my cards. As of late, it's just been, it's been calling out to me. I haven't quite had the time to do it in the way that I would have liked, nor the resources to do it in the way that I've seen done. But I think this particular way is more in alignment with how I read cards for myself, which essentially is all that I'm doing. And just any and everyone who is attached to me, I believe, will receive something from this. So that's the energy that I'm taking into this. So essentially all I'm asking about is what is to come for the week ahead, beginning with Sunday, July 11th. And yeah, or I guess if you start your week on Monday, July 12th, however that works for you. Just wondering what's going on for the week ahead. So the King of Cups as expectation for the week ahead. The one thing that I'm noticing right now is the clearing of the clouds, which is really significant for me because I have definitely been feeling cloudy, heavy, just a lot of heavy energy over the past couple of weeks. And I am believing for, clarity and light coming into my life moving forward, coming into my space and my energy moving forward. And so to see that reflected in the very first card as evidence for what's coming, I think is beautiful. When I see this King of Cups, I definitely see someone with balance and understanding of his emotions, right? So in one hand he holds a rock and he's sitting on the hard place, right? He's caught between a rock and a hard place, but he has a smile on his face. He is in control of his own emotions with that cup in his hand. He sits with his emotions surrounded by water, right? He's essentially unbothered. Come what may, there's a fish popping out of the water. So come what may, he is centered, stable, still. Even though there was very clearly just a storm nearby, right? Whether or not it was above him, I don't know. But it was nearby. He could feel the heaviness of those clouds in his energy. And yet he sits there with a smile on his face. The water around him is pretty settled, pretty still. And he sits in the midst of his emotions, just mastering them, just feeling like the king of his emotions and fine with it. And so I'm thankful for that coming in. Let's see. Now we have the Three of Cups. So we're being called to celebrate. Celebrate this mastering of emotions, right? Celebrate, enjoy, seek enjoyment this week. Seek pleasure, seek good times, enjoyment with others. We have, in this tarot deck, there are depictions of African-American figures, and I don't necessarily figures and moments in history, right? I don't necessarily recognize all of them. I don't know that, excuse me, it's in the book, so I could look it up if I wanted to, but I usually just see them as, because of the way that they're placed in the illustrations, I usually just see them as like what's happening in the spiritual world, or these are spirits, or, you know, spectral entities and they're giving another version or depiction of what the card is saying. So in the background we have a band playing, right? So get connected with your ensemble, with people, like-minded people that are trying to create the same kind of things that you're creating, create the same kind of world and life and experiences that you're trying to create. Get with people that are in rhythm with you, that want to make the same kind of music, whether or not that's you actually making music or just creating in some way. Get alongside people that want that are doing the same thing this week. That's going to help to clear out those clouds, right? That's going to help you see beyond your circumstance, your situation, see into something else, see into your future, see into what's next. I have both of them looking towards the right as I look at the cards, right? Everyone's looking towards the right, which is the future position in the cards. So it's just kind of look ahead, and everyone is stable, no one's moving anywhere. So be present and look ahead. Use your imagination, use your vision to help you make connections to what's here right now and what is coming for you, what you want for your life, what you desire to come into you next, because that is going to be so I have the 10 of Wands that came out next. So that is going to be what offers you that stability, what offers you that comfort, that love, that warmth in these burdenous times, right? In the times where you feel like everything is heavy once again. I've come to realize that there is a lot of ebb and flow, right? There's waves, emotional waves. You have a wave of emotion, right? There's a lot of that I experience, and it feels like it happens more often than for others. It's kind of tumultuous as far as my emotions go. So for anybody that resonates with, but it just kind of feels like week to week I can feel completely drastically different than I did the week before. And so it seems like moving into this week, we're going into a good light week where we can celebrate, where we have the clarity to look ahead, to see beyond our current circumstance, and then that's going to set us up and prepare us and keep us grounded and held close for what may come the following week. I don't know, I can't say that where we might feel burdened again, where we might feel that heaviness once again, where it feels like, you know, we've given everything that we have to give, and yet and still it doesn't necessarily feel like the needle is moving. So collect everything that you can from this moment, from this time, from this coming week, right? Collect everything that you can, the experiences, the joy, the happiness from this coming week, and carry that with you. Put that in your little satchel so you have something to reach into, something to pull out to sustain you through the times where it feels like, okay, this isn't necessarily the best time, right? I'm not having as good a time now as I did last week. Not so that you can get stuck in it, right? Not so that you can sit and wish that you were back to the good times, right? It's just so that you have those moments of clarity to remind you, hey, there will be more clarity. This is not my forever either. Just as, you know, I flowed into this week from a bad week, I flowed into this week feeling good. I'm flowing into maybe another week that's not so good, and this won't be the end either, right? There's waves, there's ups and downs, there's highs and lows, there's waves of this, and this might be a current, how about we don't focus on that, right? How about we stop drawing that in, and we'll just say that currently, I think the best thing that you can do right now is to focus on the good, pack it up, save it for later, enjoy it, really just take everything you can from these beautiful, joyous moments where you feel in rhythm with life, where you feel like you're connected and tied to what's happening around you. Bottom of the deck is Death in reverse. So that feels like it's not over. It feels like it's not over. What you have felt like is the end. There's more to see here. It's like one of those, like if you go to a concert and they're like, it feels like this is the last song, everything's about to wind down, and they're like, thank y'all for coming out, all that fun stuff, and everything goes dark, and then there's like pyro starts going off and drummers started drumming, and like they rile up once again and they do like their actual finale song. It feels like we're in that space where it feels like, okay, you thought that the good times were over. You thought that everything was coming to a close. You thought that, you know, you had given everything that you had to give. That was just the pre-finale, right? This is the finale. Finale is coming, but it's just not over, not quite yet. Ugh. Right? So that's initial. Let's see what the King of Cups is talking about. He said we're getting clarity. We're moving the needle on this heavy energy that we felt moving into this next week. The heaviness is being lifted. We're gonna get some light. Yeah, 9 of Pentacles comes out. 9 of Pentacles, we're harvesting. That sunshine is gonna open up. This bout of sunshine, that bit of rain that we felt, the heaviness of those clouds that we saw, that was necessary. That was a necessary, like, last bit of rain that we needed to, that our crops needed, right? That last bit of sustenance, feeding, just juice that our crops needed in order for them to be their ripest, in order for them to be their best. And as the sun clears, right, starts to dry up the land, dries up the leaves, so that we can clear everything out, start picking and harvesting everything that we had coming into this week. So you sowed a lot of seeds, right? You sowed a lot of seeds. It felt arduous, backbreaking work. It felt like you were doing the most. You gave it everything that you had to give in these past weeks, and it didn't feel like, you know, it was worth it, maybe. Or maybe you did a lot of work to try and reach that stability, to try and find your balance between your rock and your hard place, balance in your emotions. You felt like, okay, I need to give everything that I have to this so that I can find stability. I know that this light is going to be cleared. I know that things are going to be different. I know that this is not my end all be all. This is not the end for me. I understand that, but it feels so heavy. It feels like I can't see anything. It's dark as fuck and I don't know what else to do. So just as you start to succumb to that storm, the sky clears, right? The sun comes out, and you see all of your crops and everything revealed. It's time to harvest. It's time to be the light, right? That you thought that you didn't have, or it's revealed to you that you've been that light, whether to yourself or other people. Maybe it is to other people, since we have this 3 of Cups here, and they're coming out to celebrate you. They're coming out to tell you, the Chariot. We have a message coming in hot. Okay, maybe these people are coming in to tell you you're going to be celebrated, that you're going to have people coming in and saying, hey, you've been a light, right? I've seen you struggling, or I didn't even know that you were struggling, right? Maybe internally you had so much going on, but externally you were able to show people the light. You were able to show people the way. You were able to choose a direction and follow through with that, right? As the chariot, you've been the chariot for other people, and they're going to come in and celebrate with you, alongside you, or they see people that you've admired see you as an equal. They see you as someone, oh my gosh, we can collaborate with this person. This the way that they've moved and navigated this situation feels a lot like what we've been through, what we've gone through. This is someone we can make music with. This is someone we can put in the band, right? This is someone that sees the vision, that is heading in the right direction, that is trying to create the same kind of life that we're trying to create. And we want to be a part. We want them to be a part of what we're doing, and we want to be a part of what they're doing, because it feels in alignment, right? There's going to be alignment happening in this coming week. Talk to me about this 10 of, okay, that was the 9 of Cups that came out alongside this 10 of Wands, but it came out with some other stuff. So wishes fulfilled for sure. Temperance for this 10 of Wands. So yeah, I feel like that's just telling us you're gonna have balance, right? You're creating that balance right now with that temperance. And then we have the Death card upright as the back of the deck energy. So we have you're creating that balance with this Temperance card, right? You are the alchemist. You are the one that is in charge of, I see her as like a scientist, okay? Because she's got her 2 cups. She's kind of doing some kind of experiment with these 2 cups, whatever it is. She's mixing some kind of solution. She's creating a solution to a problem, right? She is balanced. And so when I said that you're collecting all of these good memories, all of this good time, maybe these good people as resources, you're building up your resources and putting them in your satchel, because you understand that hard times will come, right? You've reached some kind of emotional balance, and you understand that hard times are going to come. You have that rock in your hand and you're smiling at it. Hard times are going to come, but it's not the end of anything, right? With this Death card in reverse, that's not the end of you. It's not your entire story. You have an entire story that needs to be told, and it's going to include other people. It's going to include other ideas. It's going to include collaboration. And even if you can't do it all in your own strength, you're going to have those people to back you up. You're going to have those ideas to back you up. You're going to have those good times and those moments of clarity to back you up in the times where it doesn't feel like you have anyone or anything, because you're creating those solutions. You're creating that balance in your own life as that Temperance. And so the 2 of these Death cards just canceling each other out, right? With our Death card in reverse, our Death card upright, just letting us know that the end may feel like the end, may look like the end. It doesn't have to be the end. The end, when it looks like, you know, things should keep going or need to keep going, maybe that's just the closing of things, you know, that it's the ebb and the flow. The end may look like the end, but it's the beginning of something else, or it may feel like the beginning of something else, but it's the end of another thing. Like it's the end of you. The beginning of something becomes the end of something else, right? It's the end of you thinking a certain way and believing things to be true or factual, when in reality, after a few experiments, right, after a bit of you seeking balance and getting messages in and having people collaborate with you and gaining new insights because you're harvesting new things, or because you're settling into your emotions, you find that things aren't always what they seem, or that the story isn't what you initially thought the story was. Moving into this week, it feels like you are embracing that cycle, embracing the cycle, the ebb and the flow of life, and you're seeing it more clearly because you don't have the heaviness of whatever it was that you've experienced thus far. You don't have that heaviness, and so you can see it more clearly and love and appreciate everything that comes in and collect all of that so that you can use it moving forward. How can we move forward? In what ways will we be moving forward? I love that these death cards came out this way. Let's see. So we got be bold and make the first move. Surrender to the divine. Be bold and make the first move. Surrender to the divine. So what I see here is that you are opening your own eyes to what's to come, right? You're opening your own eyes to that clarity, to that sunlight, to all of the growth that has happened in your life. You have to be the one to go out and see, oh, this is ready to be harvested. This is ready to be picked, right? You have to be the one to go into your garden and pay attention to the things that you've planted, the timing of the things that you've planted. Maybe you planted 2 tomato bushes. How do tomatoes grow? 2 tomato plants. And you planted them 1 month apart, right? So one of them, only you could go out there and say that, okay, this one isn't ready, but this one is. Someone else can come into your garden and you say, oh, can you go pluck the tomatoes or whatever? Someone else will come into your garden and pluck them all, even the ones that aren't ready, but that's because they haven't been in your garden. They haven't helped you to cultivate the fruits that you're cultivating, right? They haven't been there to be a part of the growing process. So they may not see the nuance and the subtleties of everything that you've seen as you're growing what you're growing. So it's up to you to go out and make the first move. It's up to you to go out there and pick what needs to be picked, or settle into the emotions that need to be settled into, or embrace the changes that are coming. It says surrender to the divine. So in this coming week, you're being asked to embrace that cycle, that ebb and that flow. There's divine timing in everything. What you think is an ending could really be a beginning. And it doesn't mean that, you know, that you're wrong or that your story is over, or all parts of that story. Even an ending doesn't necessarily become an ending, right? It just means that that version of the story is over, that part of the story, so that chapter is over, but the story continues, right? Surrender to the divine in that you have more to this story, that this heaviness that may have happened previously is not the end of your story, and the joy that's happening currently is not the end of your story. There's more story to be written. There's more to come, whether it's your own story or the stories that you're tied to, the stuff that you're connected to. You're attached to so many people and situations and solutions, right, that need to happen. So the back of the deck says a win-win outcome is forecast. A win-win outcome is forecast. So you're gonna win no matter what. Surrendering to the divine ensures that. Any other messages to come in for this week ahead? Anything else that will offer clarity for this? Sorry. For this week ahead. Be bold. Surrender. Those are big words. Be bold. Surrender. Anything else to know about this week ahead? Let's see. Karmic relationships. Orion energy, polarity, soul growth, conflict. So I'm not one to read too much about relationships because I kind of get caught up in that kind of stuff. So I have been on this concept of relationships being the crux of everything. The concept of relationship being the crux of everything, right? It's how you relate or connect to the world around you. So any and everything can be a relationship. And so these karmic relationships speak to conflict, the things that you need to learn, the areas in which you need to grow. And so since we have so many cups on the board, I'm thinking that there's emotional growth that's happening, and your relationship to your emotions is something that you want to pay attention to moving into this new week. Before I pulled this karmic relationship card, I was thinking about the placement of this be bold and make a first move. I have it between our 9 of Pentacles and our Chariot, right? So we talked about you being bold in picking from your garden and choosing what's ready and what isn't. What about this messaging coming through, or seeking out your tribe, your people, your folks, the ones that you're connected to? It's possible that you are the one driving this chariot, and this isn't someone coming into you, that you are meant to be bold and make the first move and reaching out to people that you feel tied to and connected to, that you feel are doing the same things that you're doing, that could be a part of your band, right? That could be making the same kind of music that you're making, that could be making the same kind of creation that you're creating the same kind of world and life that you're creating. Be bold and make the first move in reaching out to those people. Be bold and make the first move in telling your story so that people can come to you, can find you, right? Be bold and make the first move in just sharing your message, sharing your ideas, your growth, your emotions, so that people can connect to you, those people can find you and come in. Be bold to make the first move in choosing a direction. Some people haven't chosen what moves they're making, right? They haven't chosen what it is that they're creating. So do that. You have collected some harvest, some seeds, some fruit from the seeds that you've planted thus far, and you know that those are bountiful seeds. So make a choice and move in that direction. Let it be known that this is who you are. You are the one who makes music. You are the kind of person who speaks to people. You're a speaker, a teacher, a healer. You're willing to maybe look a little crazy, right? You're willing to look different, to look weird, to look off, or to look like you don't have all of your shit together for the sake of the greater good, for the sake of the vision that you have, for the sake of what you sat there imagining in those good times. You collaborated with people that spoke your language, that like talk to you in the ways that you talk to yourself, that had the conversations that you have with yourself. You were able to share that with other people, or you will be able to in this coming week. Either way, that sent you, like she's sitting there daydreaming, right? She's sitting there daydreaming. That sent you down a rabbit hole of sorts. That sent you to a place where, okay, I can hear, or I can see this for myself. I can see this for myself. I can see this for the world. Like, dang, people really need this. I know that I can affect change in this way. And I really want to do that. I want to be a part of that movement. I want to be a part of that story. Be bold and make that move, right? It says surrender to the divine, and this is happening between the Chariot and Temperance. So this is what happens in between, or this is what happens as we move forward. Like I said, these first cards are looking to that future position. So as we move forward, right, surrender to the divine. Don't get so caught up in how you think it's supposed to look. Just learn from the experience, right? Learn from it, seek balance always, and you will be okay. Even when it feels like you don't have enough, that everything is falling apart, that it's too much, you can't bear it, there's no light surrounding you, surrender to the divine, and you'll be able to pull from your bag of tricks. You'll be able to pull these you have a whole garden of resource, right? That's creating more resource. Like I said, it's tomatoes. Tomatoes are fruit. Fruit have seeds. Once you grow, you start with one tomato seed, and it grows a whole plant full of tomatoes, right? She has 3 on here, and let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. On one plant, there's 5 tomatoes. I'm assuming these are tomatoes. I don't know. On one plant, there's 5 tomatoes, right? So each tomato may have 20 seeds. That's 100 seeds just from one plant, right? So she's set when it comes to resources. She's set. So when it feels like you don't have enough, down at the bottom of this bag, you may have eaten all the tomatoes. Share them with the people around you who just came in. You have a bird coming in that's coming to steal from you or whatever. This monkey may have been your sidekick, so you had to make sure your sidekick was good. You've given to everyone around you. You've used up all of your resources. Down at the bottom of your bag, you might find a seed. You might find one single seed, and you feel like, what am I supposed to do with this, right? I'm hungry. And it feels like, okay, in this moment, I'm hungry and all I have is a seed. What am I supposed to do? Because it takes time for this seed to grow into something. But you can either, you know, lean on your own understanding and say, I'm hungry now, so let me go ahead and eat the seed. Or you can surrender to the divine and divine process and divine timing and everything that the divine has already created in this world or has established for you, and say, okay, I was given this seed for a reason. Let me go ahead and use it for what it's for, grow it, cultivate it, turn it into something bigger than this moment. And so you plant it, and it takes time, and you're still hungry, and you still have mouths to feed, and you still have responsibilities, and you still have things that need to be taken care of in the meantime. But you're believing that with enough attention to this experiment, to this choice, to this decision that you've made, with enough focus on balance, focus on learning, with enough focus on just trying to surrender, to make it happen, to believe for the good of it all, you end up in a position where, you know, you're able to pick from what you cultivated, pick from what you were able to grow, pick from the ways in which you grew, right? Soul growth is on here. That growth is on the card, right? So you're tasked with growing. You're being assigned growth, right? Even in the moments where it feels like, how, Sway? Where it feels like I cannot. You're being tasked with growth, right? In the coming week. This is just the week ahead. But for some of us, it speaks to our overall journeys. This is just a microcosm of what's happening in our overall journeys, right? Back of the deck on that was cracked open, rock bottom, surrender to the alchemy of life. What did I say before? We have what I believe is an alchemist, right? Seeking that balance, turning whatever it was before into what it needs to be in order to have balance, right? Surrender to the divine, which could be seen as alchemy, right? Surrender is the essential word there. Rock bottom. So even when it feels like you're at the bottom, even when it feels like you have nothing else, he's reaching into the bottom of his bag. And it's in that moment that he finds his abundance. Because all I have is this seed. One seed can turn into 100 more seeds, which turns into 1,000, and so on and so forth, right? So there's no end. What seems like the end becomes the beginning, right? What seems like the end, this is my last seed. I don't have any more fruit. I don't have any more friends. Everyone done left me. Nobody understands me. I feel so alone. I feel like I don't have anything else to give. I've given everything I had. Everything is so overwhelming. I have so much on top of me. Everything feels so heavy. What else is a man supposed to do? Girl supposed to do? What do I do in these moments where it feels like I have nothing, where it feels like it's over? You have a seed. You have an assignment. You have a blessing over your life. You have something that's attached to you. You have people that are attached to you. You have a way with words. You have a talent, a skill. You have resources. You have the ability to network. You have a great personality. You have a car. You have a house. You have a dog. You know, you have something that you can turn into more. If you're willing to see it that way, if you're willing to calm the emotions, sit with those emotions, sit in the midst of your emotions until the clouds clear, or even before the clouds clear, just see yourself smiling, imagine yourself differently, right? You had a moment. What if that seed comes from that moment that you shared in this week ahead with like-minded people? whether it's you were with them in their presence or you watched a YouTube video of people that are doing things that you want to do, and you let yourself imagine you in that position. You let yourself imagine the world if you were able to do your version of that. That becomes your seed, right? So look for connection in the week ahead, because you're collecting seeds, if nothing else. Low homie says you've already won. What do we talk about? A win-win outcome is forecast. This is really all that it is, right? You've already won, okay? It feels heavy oftentimes, but this week is coming to remind you that the light comes as well. When it feels like it's the end, it's not the end. It's the beginning of something new, okay? Some advice on the back of the deck is offer a helping hand today. So that could be to an individual, that could be to the world. What do you have to offer? Offer your seed, offer your skills and abilities, offer your words, offer your insight, offer your guidance, offer a helping hand for someone that's very specific. Someone needs your help, but they need you to be bold to make the first move and offer. They're not going to be able to ask, which is annoying, but that's me. Lots of times I don't ask. They're working on it. How's that? Okay, so our meditation method for this week is make sound. Okay, sound can be such a source of healing, whether it's an instrument or a song. That's our band up there, right? Whether it's an instrument or a song, a person telling a story, or just a single elongated tone, you can be healed with sound. It's especially true if the sound is coming from you. If your body has connected a sound to its pain or joy, it's asking for release. As you get into a relaxed state, take a long and deep breath. On the exhale, dig deep and let sound come out with your breath. There's no need to force anything, and even if it's only one or none that leave your body, at least you gave it permission. You open the door to that kind of expression, and your body will thank you for it. Make sound, make noise in this world, but also in your meditative practice, try to make noise. Release whatever your body, mind, or spirit may be feeling through sound as you exhale. This is one method to do it, right? On the inhale, on the exhale, right? It feels weird, or it sounds weird, but it feels amazing to just, I know for a lot of us, we're very quiet. I myself am a very quiet person, but being able to make noise, make sound in those moments is really good. If you're stretching, go ahead and make a sound as you're leaning into that stretch, right? We don't like to hear that in yoga class, but it's okay. It's okay if you're doing it at home. If you do like mindless movement, go ahead and sing songs, sing it out loud, go ahead and speak. In more practical ways, sing songs out loud, speak to people, use your voice, make sounds, utilize the voice that you have. For some people that is very specific, right? On the back of the deck for the meditation methods, it has let it come to you. Take that however it resonates. So that's it for this week. I really hope that this finds someone well. I hope that this speaks to you. If this is what you needed to hear, let me know down below. Yeah, it's not over, and even if it is, you already won, so congrats. Enjoy this week.